sorry, kiddo, I really am. You have a good soul. And I hate giving good people bad news.
I'm Tony, he's Mike, and today this is the finale of our series of films that we've done over the course of this summer about what the fuck band movies. This one stars Luke Skywalker and Kristy McNichol and Dennis Quaid. 1981's The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
In case you haven't guessed, sweet little Kristy McNichol isn't that little anymore. In The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Girls, this is my little sister. This is Amanda.
Maybe they can help us find a doctor to cure up that nasty infection you got.
You're crazier than I am, you know that?
Kristy McNichol, Dennis Quaid, Mark Hamill. He's got the talent. She's got the brain. Together, they're one mean team. In The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
You want to walk us through the cast on this one?
Okay. Kristy McNichol, who we love in Little Darlings. Dennis Quaid, who you've seen in so many damn movies.
Well, we did him in Breaking Away, which was actually just a couple years before this as well.
Was it before this?
Yes.
Was it
yeah, that was 79. This was 81.
Okay. All right.
So
there you go. And really, that's
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, and Mark Hamill.
Yeah, you can't forget Mark Hamill on this one. He's kind of a big deal. This was his first dramatic role post Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back.
And for my money, this is probably his best acting outside of Star Wars. Up until, later in his years when we finally got, when he had his renaissance, last five or 6 years.
I was going to say, I don't recall much about Corvette Summer.
It's not very good.
But I
don't know if that's just kind of like a silly movie. If he wants to do Corvette Summer, throw it down in the comments.
but he does actually try to make the transition from being a sci-fi legend and icon to being a dramatic actor in this one, which kudos for him. But you want to walk us through the plot on this one real quick?
Yeah, it basically starts off with Kristy McNichol and Dennis Quaid. They are a brother-sister, not a group, but
he's the singer.
team.
He's a singer that had one hit song.
Yeah.
And she is his manager.
Yeah.
You're the girl who's been calling me.
Yeah. That's my brother up there. I'm his manager.
Aha, I'm Ted Hawkins, Durango Records in Nashville. Now, I always wondered what happened to Travis Child since his hit record.
You take us through the plot.
Okay. So we kick off in the morning, and Travis has gotten himself into another fine mess because he apparently picked up some lady at the bar, they took her back to the hotel room and made sweet country Georgia love to her, and her husband showed up, and shenanigans ensued on that one.
Where's that sneaky no good brother of yours, Curly?
Back the hell off, mister, before I blow your pumpkin right off your red neck.
And they decide that they're going to get the hell out of Dodge, and they're going to go on the road, and they're going to earn some money because they are on their way to Nashville. They are hoping to talk a record exec into giving Travis a big break after his one minor hit record. He does have groupies. He does have people who knows who he is while they're traveling.
Hey.
Well, hi there, sweetheart.
I was just telling my friend Mavis here that I'd bet just anything that you were Travis' child. Like on that poster over there.
Oh, I'll be.
And what winds up happening is he gets himself into another fine predicament. He's playing at a bar. Kristy McNichol is talking to a Nashville record exec. They're making a deal to go to Nashville and lay down some sweet demos.
But I like it. I like the song.
Good.
You know, we just might want to handle it.
And then the husband from the first scene shows up at the bar and starts a massive bar fight. Travis jumps out of the back door and starts hoofing it after breaking his guitar over someone's face.
Let's take it to the
And he tells Kristy McNichol, hey, get the tapes, give them to the guy. I'll meet you at the bus station, and we will head on our way to Nashville.
Find that dude Hawkins and we'll tell him to meet in Nashville, okay?
Look at
we'll get all the stuff. Look, that says Garnett, Georgia. Meet me in Garnett, Georgia. You got that? All right?
While all that's going on, he hops on a bus and makes sweet love to another roadie groupie fan and gets dropped off, and he's liquored up and passes out on a park bench while he's waiting for Kristy
Well, he gets
McNichol.
tossed off the bus because of his shenanigans.
No,
on
he
there.
says, this is my stop. He says,
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
even
no,
know your
no.
name, darling.
No. The bus driver says this isn't a hotel.
This ain't no motel, you know.
Yeah, well, I was born on a bus.
Anyway, he passes out on a park bench, and while they are waiting, while he's waiting for Kristy McNichol to show up, Kristy McNichol gets pulled over by Mark Hamill, who realizes that, she is obviously having a bad time because she's crying and pulled over on the side of the road.
I'll tell you what. You just tell me straight out what's what, and I'll let you go.
My name is Amanda Child. I'm 16 going on 47. My older brother's waiting for me at a bus station in Garnett. He's a famous singer from Nashville. I don't have a driver's license, but I'm a damn good driver. And you should feel sorry for me because I'm an orphan.
And another cop finds Travis and discovers it, startles him. He wakes up swinging. He hits the cop. The cop decides that he's going to throw him a beat down and then arrest him. Takes him to jail. His court date is in the morning. Kristy McNichol is very upset, but Mark Hamill's like, don't worry about it. He'll see the judge. We'll find out what's going on.
Not exactly. He warns that the judge and the people there are very crooked.
This is Tuckahoga County. You got trouble here. Some of these people can be meaner than anything you ever run across.
And they will throw the max penalties for the most insignificant of crimes. And that's exactly what he gets.
Guilty of drunk in public and resisting arrest. How much money does he have?
$14.30.
Fine is $314.30.
I don't have that. And he's like, can you make bail? He's like, no, I can't make bail. And he's like, 40 days at the pea farm. So he's going to go pick vegetables with the other inmates. And as you can imagine, Kristy McNichol, who's outraged by this, gets pulled out, starts trying to find a job, and offers to have Dennis Quaid perform for a week. No. She offers to have him perform for a week for $300. And the bartender's like, look.
Well, that's the exact same amount it's going to cost to get your brother out of Judge Wintergreen's jail. Well, now, I can't rightly go for putting on a show right now. And this is a slow time of the year around the club, so I thought maybe he could tend bar for me, give me a little time off.
How'd you know about me and my brother anyway?
State Trooper Conrad called me a while ago and said you might be dropping by.
Like I said, to bartend.
Yeah. Well, that was their initial offer. But anyway, no, that's neither here nor there. So Dennis Quaid shows up. He turns out to be actually a really good bartender.
You seem to cut on this bartender business real good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I've been on the other side of one of these enough.
Meets Melody, who is a regular townie,
who
if
is
you will.
involved with the officer that arrested
Dennis Quaid.
Travis.
Yeah.
On the park bench.
And threw him the beat down, yes. And he's not trying to pick her up, but they kind of start having...
Oh, he's trying to pick her up.
Oh, well.
Here you are, honey. I don't think I've seen you here before.
No, I haven't seen you here before.
He's trying to pick her up.
Are you trying to think of something to say to me?
What? No.
This is very much a Trip Fontaine scenario. Travis, can get laid at the drop of a hat. This is the first time he actually gets kind of semi-rejected.
I'll be right back.
This is a chart buster.
Honey, can't you see I'm working?
Not as far as I can see.
Well, you don't see very far, do you?
And that's like, oh my God, I love you. Why? Because I can't have you.
Yes. and so while all that's going on, Kristy McNichol and Mark Hamill start having a growing sort of weird romantic relationship that kind of starts growing.
And And that's kind of the thing. That chemistry never really quite works 100% on screen.
That's the problem that I have with this film, because it's kind of creepy, because Kristy McNichol's character is 16.
No jailbait. Agreed? Agreed.
We know it's weird. They say 16 at first, but then later
17
it says
at the very
at the
last
end.
scene. Yeah, 17 at the very last scene, but we never saw a birthday. But she
or
actually,
driver's license, because she'll have one.
Yeah, but no, she actually mentions that she's 16 years old very early in the film. So her birthday occurs at some point, and I don't know if they shot it and left it on the editing room floor, but there's no birthday party or even a card or even a hug and a high five. It's just, she's just magically 17 because that's the age of consent in Georgia in 1981.
Yeah. So anyways, let's just wrap this up because we're 3/4 of the way through the plot anyway. So again, Travis is interested in Melody. And so there's some tension going on there between him and the cop.
Yes.
Kind of boyfriend, they're kind of off and on type of thing.
He's a creep. He's a creep on the nth degree, and he's just, because he's a cop and because he's an asshole, he has basically warned everybody in town that's ever approached Melody that's his. He's staked his claim, and everybody else should back off. And Dennis Quaid, decides,
hey, I don't think she does want to go with you.
And so a bar fight ensues, which leaves Melody to say, no, I do want to stay here with Dennis Quaid. And then they go back to the hotel room and they make sweet love.
Yes, they do.
Sweet, sweet love. And Kristy McNichol is like, we need to get on the road and get to Nashville. And he's like, well, we could stay here for a little while. And she's like, you're crazy about that chick. This is stupid. You're going to get yourself hurt or worse. And blah, blah, blah. Well, worse happens. Cop goes and finds Dennis Quaid.
Well, hang on, we're skipping it. We're skipping over a critical plot point in this, actually. Because Kristy McNichol gets that representative back to Andy's bar.
Yes.
She puts the whole thing together. She organizes it. She gets the backing band in there, goes through all the music with these guys. They write a song in between, a new song.
I've heard the news all over town that you've been slipping round. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And so anyways, it takes a little convincing, but he finally gets Travis to get up on stage. He performs the number.
And that's when Melody just melts. She has seen the magic of Travis.
Yeah. But that's not the important part. The important part comes later when Amanda puts on her getup and gets on her stage and then performs herself the song that they just wrote.
Yes.
Oh, give it up, hope now. We'll keep doing just fine.
And everybody loves it. She's a great success. And that's when you kind of like, Travis is like, hey, you don't need me. You can do this on your own.
You got talent. Talent plus that. You don't take no for an answer. You're the one that pounds on all those doors and makes the phone calls.
I'm going to stay here because this is really what I want.
You see, I think if I left here, I'm just going to be thinking about what I left behind.
And then, go ahead.
Then that's when Deputy Jerk shows up. He sees Dennis Quaid. He sees Travis leave the house, and he I know what happened. So he decides he's just gonna chase him down, and he pulls up alongside of him and shoots him. And then he gets a shotgun. He's gonna finish the job, but Dennis Quaid has a gun in the glove box, and he finishes off, and they both wind up dead. And then Kristy McNichol cries and goes to a funeral and then decides she's leaving town, but then Mark Hamill pulls her over and sees her crying, and it's all like, I'm giving up my badge and I'm going to take care of you. And then they get into the truck and then they drive off into Georgia.
Yeah.
Because the lights went out.
No.
Power bill.
Yeah, and there you go. I actually enjoyed this movie a lot. This is my favorite out of all
the band movies that
we watched, for multiple reasons. Number one, it has the most coherent story.
Yes.
It's the one that makes the most sense from beginning to end. You understand everybody's motivations. They're all clearly explained. They're all clearly laid out.
Yes.
The music, while it's not my brand, and while Dennis Quaid and Kristy McNichol aren't the best singers or performers in this, the music is still good enough to where I still enjoyed the music.
Yeah. See, now I'm going to say Dennis Quaid could pull off Country Star. because it was first off it was 1981, so this was before the MTV and the British invasion. This was when the urban cowboy was a thing,
and it's also at that time where country music was crossing over into pop
in a big way.
Yeah.
And so Dennis Quaid, he's a good-looking guy. He's young, and while he's not a great vocalist, he at least knows his range, and he keeps all of his singing in that range. So it comes off as convincing to me.
Yeah,
like,
he's a great performer too. Yeah. When he's on stage, he engages the crowd, he moves, and he's very charismatic on stage.
We had a boy like that around here regular, we'd make us a mite of money.
Hand, she sings 2 songs. They're both awful.
I don't think they're that bad. She's not a good singer, but it worked for me.
I'm just gonna say that she did her own singing. I think that was a misstep. I think they probably should have got somebody else to sing, because there's that song where she's singing and she's supposed to hit that super high note and then bring it down, and she can't do it.
It never lands.
Yeah,
no, you're right. You're right.
And for all the other the regular lyrics of that, up until the chorus is fine, but when she gets to that chorus and she does that, baby, I'm through with you. I expect to hear dogs going "Arr!" in the background. That's how bad it is.
I'll agree with you there. They should have changed that note.
Yes. Yeah. At the very least, rewritten it to be something that she could sing.
Yeah. Change the key.
I mean, at the end of the day, Kristy McNichol, she's a really talented actress. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah. And they sell it, their relationship together.
They really do. At no point does it come off weird or creepy. They come off as orphan children who have had nothing but each other to rely on. And Dennis Quaid, he is taking advantage of the fact that he is young and handsome and talented, and he's doing all the shit that you would do if you were 22 and you were young and talented and handsome, and hey, you're blowing in the wind, and every night he has this great line in there where she's like,
grab ass, it's all you know. You grabbed every ass from Georgia to Texas.
Well, I ain't saying they're worth fighting for.
Oh,
and I sure as hell ain't saying they're worth staying for either.
It's like, okay, you know what? I get that. I buy that part about his character. It's not until he actually starts having feelings for one of them, Melody in particular, that I think that happens a little too abruptly. I get it.
Yes.
But
and there's not enough time developed. They spent so much time front-loading the fact that he's a player and shit like that when it finally gets time, there's not enough time left in the movie to develop that relationship and make it convincing.
Yes, if this had just a few more scenes of them two interacting, and more importantly than that, not just interacting, but interacting outside the bar. Yes.
Well, aren't you gonna offer me any back pocket bourbon? Or a lick from my lips?
You really think you got me pegged, don't you?
Well, not only does he know how to dialogue a girl, but then it's not until Kristy McNichol actually is like, Travis Child, come on up on stage. And he's like, nope, this show's all you. And she's all like, Travis Child. And she's getting the whole audience to basically, get him to go up on stage. So finally he relents, he gives in. And the weird thing about it is that it wasn't until that moment when Melody saw him perform. And that's when she was all like, panties, don't need them. And you can literally see, like you can watch the expression on her face where she's watching him and she's kind of like, oh, he's friendly, he's cute, he's nice, blah, 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 blah. But then, he's talented. Well, you can see her melt on camera.
Well, this is true, but there's also, because I can't remember if this happened before or after. Wait, when did he get in a fight? Did he get in a fight with the cop?
He gets in the fight with the cop after that. It's after his big performance, and the cop shows up, and he's like, "You're coming with me. We're going out tonight." And that's when Dennis Quaid is like, "I don't think she does want to go with you." Yeah. And seeing as Dennis Quaid has now won over the whole bar after the fight, and Dennis Quaid gets his ass kicked by the deputy, when the bar owner is all like,
"Look at me, Andy. Knock the shit out of you. You see that sign out front? Yeah, what about it? It says Andy's. As long as that sign is out there, and I'm in here, what I say goes here.
But that really solidified it for Melody. Yes. Because then finally somebody stood up to the angry boyfriend.
Yes, absolutely. And then the whole bar was standing there in silence, disapprovingly staring at him. And it was the same town that he has to police, and now they all know his humiliation. He has been quated. Melody is going to feel the strum of Travis Child. She's going to know how he works a fretboard.
really, other than that, and Mark Hamill and Kristy McNichol's relationship, because that did not work. While I appreciate Mark Hamill's acting, does a fine job acting, there's no chemistry between them two.
No, there's not.
At
There's
all.
not. And
None.
I'm going to say that's the biggest problem. Travis having a romantic attachment to Melody, that's fine. That 2/3 of the film works. That 2/3 I'm totally okay with. That relationship with Mark Hamill, he should have come off more like, hey, I'm the big brother that your big brother isn't. You're a kid, you need taking care of. You should not be the one taking care of him. And if they had sold it more like that, I would have been much more comfortable with that relationship.
They tried that.
I can see you out there just singing your heart out. And I just can't see anybody to take care of you. Who's going to do that?
Because that's how his interactions with her do go. It does kind of go as like it's more of a brother type of, an older sibling, but
it's underwritten is the problem. It really goes down to
I don't
the
think it's
script
underwritten.
and those scenes.
There's no chemistry.
Stay here in this hick town. Gotta stay with that damn girlfriend.
Don't tell me, Travis. It's always him, isn't it? Why don't you ever talk to me?
This was directed by Ronald F. Maxwell, who also directed Little Darlings. And he directed it right before this, and he shot that one in Georgia as well, and it was 50 miles away from the towns that they shot this film in.
I'll be damned.
So I'm thinking, you got it so right in Little Darlings. How did you miss this hard on this one?
He didn't miss by much.
No, he didn't.
He missed by casting, by one casting choice.
He should have either aged her up, because she specifically says she's 16. Now, if somebody had told you that Kristy McNichol was 18 in this film, you're really going to go, no, she's not. No, she looked 18. She could have sold 18.
She could have sold either one. But then that dynamic between those two wouldn't have been quite as important, where she's the younger sibling trying to keep the reins on Travis.
I get that's exactly the point that they were trying to hammer on, was that literally, she's supposed to be the kid. If she was 18, she's not a kid anymore. She would just be the younger sister.
You're crazier than I am, you know that?
Yeah, well, the past 6 months traveling with you into hard times and bad habits, I'm getting warped.
So
of the 4 band movies we watched, how does this compare, in your opinion, to the rest? And which one did you like the best?
This
or
is the most interesting of them. I'm
agree,
going to tell you
100%.
flat out that I'm going to say that if we had to go back and watch any one of them, I would go back and watch Light of Day. And the reason I would watch Light of Day is it's overstuffed, yes, but there's the bones of what should have been a 2-hour movie that was locked down to 1 hour and 30. And there's something interesting there. There's some really compelling performances there. And even though the casting is problematic, I buy all the performances in it. They're doing everything they can with what they got to work with. This one comes in at a near second. I could see what they were going for, but they didn't arrive there. And that's kind of it. And even beyond that, this movie has kind of been pushed so far into the background. There was a VHS and a Laserdisc release and a DVD release. There has been no Blu-ray release. There has been no chatter about this film since its inception. It was not terribly well received at the time that it dropped. It got very mixed, middling reviews. So I'm fascinated by it, but it also, if this had been done a couple years later, it would not have been a country song. It would have been, an 80s new wave kind of song. I'm kind of intrigued that this is a snapshot of an era of pop culture that didn't gel. It didn't solidify. It didn't become what the 80s was defined as. It's a footnote. And because the music genre is a footnote, and Kristy McNichol kind of became a footnote, Mark Hamill kind of went on to do a lot of schlocky films after this. So Dennis Quaid was the survivor of this particular outing. So I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm just saying know what you're getting into when you watch it, and know that the quality of the movie you're about to watch, the video quality, is abysmal. Because
it is. It's terrible because nobody gave a fuck about it after this.
Bye-bye, baby, bye-bye.
So that's my thoughts on the movie. What did you think of this?
So just getting to the comparing it to the other band movies that we watched this summer, I liked it the most out of them. It's probably probably not the most rewatchable. To me, probably if I ever go back to any of these movies, it would be Alien the Cruisers, probably again.
Yeah.
Maybe Satisfaction. Unlikely. Light of Day I will never watch again. That is absolutely one and done for me. But again, like I stated earlier, this is by far the most, I think, coherent and the most consistent from beginning to end. Other than the stuff that we've talked about for the last half hour.
Yeah, it does have the most streamlined story.
Yes.
So
yes, and it makes the most sense. So I enjoyed it for that. I'm kind of not surprised that the fact that the director also did Little Darlings.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you say it, I can see the fingerprints
Yes,
of it.
yes.
In there. But yeah, I really did enjoy this film. For me, it's a recommend.
Yeah.
I would absolutely recommend it. I would love it to be a better quality.
Yes.
Because
this movie should have a Blu-ray.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really
even if you're not a fan of this film, it's Kristy McNichol and Dennis Quaid in a very early role and Mark Hamill in a dramatic role.
Yeah.
Why somebody hasn't been this needs a Blu-ray release. I can't believe how hard it was to track down a version of this to watch to do this review.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's kind of a crime. Actually, it is a crime.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get down to it because Kristy McNichol back in the day, again, and here. Great performance. Not the powerhouse performance of Little Darlings.
No.
But pretty damn good. Dennis Quaid, I think, is probably one of his more charming roles.
Yes.
In this, even though he plays kind of a scoundrel type of character.
A little bit.
You know, but he's great in it. Yeah. And again, Mark Hamill, even though there's no chemistry between the two, did a great job.
Mark Hamill did everything he could with the role he was given. I just
Yeah.
think the biggest problem is that he's written as a little too goody two shoes. He's he's a cop in a Georgia town, but he knows everybody's corrupt and blah blah blah, and it's like, but he's the one cop that's like not going along to get along, and it's like, why the hell are you a deputy then? At the end he fixes that problem, but it just feels like something that he was waiting for a reason to walk away because he knew how shitty that town was.
What for me works in the context of this movie.
Yeah, it does. But just watch the movie. You'll see what we're talking about. There's a missing ingredient. It's like a really good chili that just off by that much, and crackers ain't gonna fix it. There was one note that I have here that because we already talked about this. So the budget for this film was $7.5 million. This was not a cheap movie. So when I said
you're paying for the talent.
Yes,
you're absolutely paying for the talent.
When you are paying for this, you're paying off a director that came off of a hit film. You're paying Kristy McNichol. You're paying Dennis Quaid. You're paying Mark Hamill. All three of these were names, and they were known quantities. And they knew what audience they were going after. They were going after the young crowd. And I think that's also kind of the problem with this. Because 81, the music scene had kind of started to turn. The urban cowboy thing was kind of starting to fall into the background. Pop music was already starting to change. So I think by the time they got this done, that was part of it. They were looking for a young audience.
I don't think you're quite right there. I really don't know what audience they were going for in this one, to be honest with you. I don't know who the appropriate audience is for this movie. This really doesn't come out as like a teenage movie by any stretch of the imagination. So this is really more of like a young adult, and maybe a little older.
I was going to say, Kristy McNichol's first adult-ish role.
Because this is definitely more adult subject matter.
Yeah.
This isn't Little Darlings by any stretch of the imagination. Not even close. And then the timing of the music is very appropriate because that wave did carry on till about 83, 84, almost 85 is when that country crossover thing kind of died off, and then country went back to its own thing. Back in its lane.
Yeah, so even Cool when the Gang gave up on it. But its box office, there's two reported numbers on this. Okay. Both of them say that this was a financial failure, but one box office reports that this movie made $14 million. The other box office report says that it made $6.1 million at the box office. In either case, it's a matter of did it lose a little or did it lose a lot? And I'm just... Based on how this film has been treated since its release.
What was the budget?
$7.5 million.
Okay. So if the one's correct, it at least made its money back and maybe a little bit of profit.
I'm going to say that the $14 million is probably total tickets sold overall, and the 6.1 is what film rental was actually generated. So that's what the studio got back.
Yeah.
And the 14 million is total number of tickets sold, and that's the 50% went to the actual exhibition, you know, the movie theaters that you actually went and saw it at. So that's kind of what I think is what I'm seeing here. But like I said, I saw those two numbers, and they were wildly different, and I was just kind of like, we'll talk about both. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this one's important, Melody was played by Sonny Johnson. Sonny Johnson was beautiful. She's a good-looking woman. She's actually a really talented actress. And she started off her career on an episode of Charlie's Angels in 1977.
Okay.
And she actually does appear in Flashdance as one of the dancers on there. And then she died of an aneurysm in 1984.
Oh, damn.
Yes. So 3 years after this film came out, I was like looking at her IMDb and I'm like going, wow, like what did she do that really sank her career? And it's like, nothing. She died. So yeah. So if you want to know why she didn't wind up appearing in a bunch of other movies throughout the 80s, that would be the reason why. She's perfectly competent. She was really solid in this role. This is kind of the kind of role that she really thrived in. The love interest. She has a lot of credits. She had like, I think, I want to say like 12 or 15
Oh, that's quite
credits.
a bit
Yeah,
for
she
such
was
a
doing
short
TV
career.
and movies. For such a short career, she was very in demand. So she obviously delivered.
Yeah, we probably got gypped out of a potential big star maybe later down the line, but we'll never know.
She already got the star alongside Kristy McNichol and Dennis Quaid and Mark Hamill. So, you know, she was doing something okay.
Recommend?
Tentative recommend. If you're a film buff, if you enjoy cinema and you want to kind of see a film that just missed it, this is a fascinating watch. It's an interesting watch. I think it's interesting in a different way than Light of Day is. I just, there is a good movie that could have come out of this. It just didn't make it across the finish line on that. And it's in that regard, it's to me very similar to Light of Day, but at the same time, I just find Light of Day a more compelling watch. So yes, if you're a cinephile, by all means check this one out. Good luck sourcing a decent copy of it. And you know, that's the best way I can recommend this film. If you're not, if country music just rides your last nerve, say no. So, but
I don't like country music, so having said that, the songs they do didn't bother me because it's very poppy country for back then.
Yeah.
And appropriate for that era as well. This did cross the finish line for me. Is it everybody's subject matter? Not really. I mean, it's your mileage may vary, but as far as like a competent movie, to me it's a very competent movie. It's a recommend for me, especially if you're a Kristy McNichol fan
or Dennis Quaid fan.
Mark Hamill fan? Probably not. You probably want to skip it.
Yeah.
But that's what I got.
All right. We will catch you next time.